A fire happened about 12 hours after a fire at a supportive retirement community in the city. It left dozens of seniors displaced and caused severe damage to the building. Angeles Pompa is in the newsroom with the latest details.
Saturday night's fire at the Washington retirement community was to a building that was already recovering from a major water main break just last month. Nearly 40 residents were displaced after Saturday night's fire at Chapters Living of Washington retirement community. Firefighters were called to the scene around 9:30 p.m. Washington Fire Chief Tyler G. says crews arrived to find flames climbing all 3 stories of the building's exterior and threatening to spread into the attic. Firefighters and staff worked to evacuate residents, many of whom rely on wheelchairs, oxygen, or other medical assistance. 25 News spoke off-camera with the community's CEO, Deb Schneider, who said the building's elevators automatically shut down when the fire alarm activated, while the attic sprinkler system also engaged. She adds all residents and staff were safely evacuated from the building within 30 minutes from the start of the fire. Many were taken across the street to Washington Senior Living, while families were contacted and temporary housing arrangements were made. The fire comes less than 2 months after a water main break, which damaged portions of the same area of the building and forced more than 50 residents from their apartments. Schneider says crews had been replacing flooring, cabinets, carpeting, and walls, with some residents already moving back into the building. She had estimated to be done with the 3rd floor by June 5th, with the rest of the repairs from the leak expected to be completed on June 16th. She says much of that restoration work was destroyed by Saturday night's fire. The cause of the fire remains under investigation by the Illinois State Fire Marshal. For now, displaced residents are staying with family members or at Washington Senior Living across the street while officials determine the next steps. Back to you.